I appreciate you guys watching. I don't know if you guys really enjoy the 200 ping king gameplay. I know some people are like, yo, I wish I could play like you in 200 ping, which I appreciate. It's really all about the build. I'll probably make a video talking about how I play, but you gotta be able to make a build that. First, there's two things. I'll give you guys a quick explanation. All right, I'll give you guys a quick explanation. How does Agamotto play in 200 ping? Actually, let's get this one. This one's more fitting. How do I play in 200 ping? Nothing from Horror Yet Fallen. So, this is how I play in 200 ping. The 200 ping guidelines. Alright. First things first, and I think the most important first, is consistency. You need to continuously practice. Not even practice. You just have to be used to playing in that ping. And you have to get good at timings. That's the most important thing. So, for example, right? Whenever I'm fighting something like a, let's say I'm fighting something like a Light's Final Toll user, right? He has like the floating piece of shit around him. Alright. What I tend to do, whenever I swing, before he even parries, most of the time, before he parries, I'm already pressing F. And so what happens is when I press F, since there's a delay, right? It'll press F really as soon as he starts to swing. And usually that is good for like people like daggers and Light's Final Tolls. That's what I do against them. I press F as they parry. Alright? As they parry my hit. That way I can parry their usually returning M1. Even sometimes people will like feint and then swing immediately after. Even then it'll usually catch it. A lot of people right after they parry with fist, dagger, and LFT will immediately go in for another M1. You gotta be careful though, because what happens is LFT users like to get a little smart. They like to use their little critical if you start doing that shit too much, right? That'll start to happen. I'll start using this thing right here. So generally what I tend to do is I press F and I back up. Yeah, I either back up when I press F, I slide with my congas and usually my little flame halo around this time if I'm fighting with the build. And, or I try and get away elsewhere, right? But yes, consistency and learning how to fight in 200 ping is the most important thing. Alright. Second thing is also probably just as important. The build. Unfortunately, the build heavily changes how you can fight. If you have an M1 based build where you have to land a lot of M1s and a lot of your damage coming from M1s, I'm sorry, you're gonna get folded every time. You're going to get folded every single time because you're just not going to be able to compete M1 wise unless you have extreme consistency and you're able just to play off your M1s and your, you know what I'm saying? Like, so Silent Heart and 200 ping, don't even fucking try. You better not try. I'm telling you not to try. It gets difficult. It gets tough. Let me see. Do I have any good example of me fighting a nigga who was like really tough to fight in 200 ping? Like that one Light's Final Toll guy. Do I have a clip of me fighting him? Oh yeah, right here. We can go over this, right? So when I was trying to win without using my what's it called? You can see how like I'm trying to do mantra feints and shit like that, just so I can try and throw these guys off a little bit more. Not gonna lie, I never said it'd be easy, by the way. It's not. If they go up to you an M1 you just like that, it is most of the time impossible to know what's coming and react in time. If you're anything close to like 160, 170, bro, niggas think like past 80 ping is unplayable, right? So it really just comes down to being able to predict your opponent and then just muscle memory, right? You see how I parried that right there? Let me slow this down and explain how I parried that right there. You might be like, what? It looks like you just parried it like as if you're in normal ping. Alright? I used my attack. Remember what I said? Anytime I use an attack that's close to the enemy, I always press F in advance, right? And then bam! Timed it. Timed it right on time. Now, I'm just letting you know, it doesn't always work. It doesn't always work. Sometimes I mess up or I'm like, what? Oh, I fucked up my timing. And I'll get like comboed. That's gonna happen when you're playing in high ping. Alright. But you see, now you might be like, well, Agamatsu, what was that story? Again, when you're fighting certain builds, you got to recognize how other builds will play. I'll say that's number 3. Number 2 is your build. Number 3 is most important as well, their build. And that determines how you parry as well. All right. Their build, it goes in with the consistency thing. All right. If I know their lights, again, they're all, I swear, if I haven't seen this nigga use it once, if they don't critical and they always M1 right after parry, you see how I'm backing up? The reason why I'm slightly backing up is just because, again, niggas like to use the little critical afterwards. So I'm preparing for the possibility that either he's going to critical or he's going to M1 after immediately. That way I can completely avoid it some of the time. Not even most of the time, some of it. And then after that, it just becomes skirmishing, using my M1s at a distance, then going up occasionally, trying to mix them up. Alright. You can even see me like, you see like, actually, let me slow this down again. Alright. Slow it down one more time for you guys, for the guys in the back. You see, I go up for a running M1. Do you see how I immediately parry? Immediately the parry comes in because I was, when I'm going for the running M1, I expected him to parry it and then immediately M1 after. It's just how it is. And after that, it just becomes muscle memory at that point. And being able to know what M1s you can get in, what mantras you can get in, how people usually fight. Like, for example, when I Rising Flame somebody, sometimes you know what I do? I'll Rising Flame them and I'll wait a second and then hit it so I can hit their block. And set up the expectation that I'm going to do that every time. And then sometimes what I'll do is I'll go up, immediately do it, and then cancel it with a mantra that's really fast like Ashlam, and it will usually interrupt their M1s, and I get free hits off that way. It's about using your build and being able to understand what works against regular people. Most people in this chat are not going to be fighting extreme sweaty people, right? You're going to have to switch up your gameplay even more if you want to compete in that field, and 99% of the time you're probably going to lose. That's something you just have to accept, right? If you get hit and guard broken while you're doing a roll, you'll see that. I don't know if some of you guys will notice, but you'll see like I'll move and then I'll get block broken. Like I'll be like boom and I'll get block broken over here. That's because I actually was rolling. I was in the roll animation, so the movement registered, but not the dodge is server based. The movement is client sided, but the pairing and block and all that shit, that's on the server. So that's why I move, and even though I did the roll animation or I'm doing the roll movement, I still get guard broken because in the server I'm still there holding block. Shit like that is some things you have to accept and learn how to play with, right? And yeah, eventually it got, what's it called? It got real, what's it called? It got real competitive. I was on a sliver of health, bruh. And so what I'll do, what I tend to do, right? Sometimes, like, I don't know, this is just more on the second point of like your build, but some of you guys see, like, I sometimes turn away from my opponent, right? Managed to parry that. Again, that was just a predicted parry. It wasn't really reaction so much, right? I throw my Fire Forge. I cast my Fire Palm. I turn away when I cast my Fire Palm so I can hide my hand and then immediately flick towards them. That's what I try to do sometimes. It's just risky because I usually end up getting hit from the back. Pause. So yeah, I try and hide it that way. What else was happening here? Yeah, here you can see I didn't back up far enough. You see how, like, predicted the parry there? Was thinking he was going to do another parry again. I block. Which, if it looks like I parried it on time, but regardless, right? I get guard broken. I have to recover. I recover. You see when I parried, I immediately turned away because I was trying to do a slide. I was trying to slide out of it because I was getting a little too low. I was getting nervous. What else happened here? Yeah, that's all that happened there. Anything else prevalent that I need to talk about in this fight? Because this fight is like the perfect example of like probably people you're going to be facing, right? And what I tend to do in tough situations. But yeah, the only reason why I bring up this clip though, real quick to pause, The main reason why I bring up this clip is because in this clip I was actually trying to M1 because not everybody has like a clone and just can like turtle, right? Because if you want to play optimally, I hope I said that right. The best way, really, if you really want to, is to really just sit back and assist and skirmish. Like, it's not even really skirmishing. You're kind of just running around and using your clone. Skirmishing is this right here. Kind of like going in with M1s, still fighting up close, and then occasionally heading back to do some range shit. What you really want to do if you're really in a tight spot and you have clones, you want to spam your clones, right? If you're fighting, you're not a YouTuber. People not going to judge you. Hey, bro, you just trying to win. You might be getting ganked in the depths. It might be an overworld gank. Trust me, in overworld ganks, I do everything I can to win because, nigga, they have the best advantage in the world, being able to react. So I'm doing whatever I can to win. And usually, I'll like spawn a clone somebody, and I'll go fight somebody else. I'll literally just use everything ranged. Because that's an overworld fight, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to win I'm just trying to help out my allies, right? But this is just more of an example of if you want to like actually fight up close and shit. I'm just trying to give you general tactics and tips that I do. Right? So yeah. But yeah, that's all I'll say about that. That's all we have to say. Hope that gave you guys a what's it called? A good look into what's it called? A good look into how I guess I fight sniping a little bit better. So yeah. I'll be seeing you guys later, okay? And you guys have a good one. Peace. If y'all enjoyed the video, make sure to go click on these other videos, man. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.